To succeed in business, leaders and their teams need to be confident and focused on the task to be done, have the right level of energy to perform at their best, feel safe to contribute and challenge ideas, and be clear about where they're going and why. There are four main forces that can impair a team's psychosocial safety and their ability to perform at their best. These forces are anxiety, stimulation, conformity, and ambiguity. The GreyScale refers to these four forces collectively as ASCA. Anxiety is excessive worry, focusing on imagined fears, which drains confidence and distracts from real challenges to overcome. Stimulation is the right level of energy to perform the task. If people are overstimulated or understimulated, they become distracted or bored with the task. In extreme cases, they get tired and fall asleep. Conformity occurs when people decide to give in or give up on arguing the point, or they decide that near enough is good enough. Conformity means no new ideas and no innovation, which can lead to terrible decisions, bad strategy, and poor execution. Ambiguity comes from poor communication and subsequent misinterpretations, when information doesn't match with what people know or have experienced, or there are two sets of information that should match up but don't. If people receive ambiguous information or interpret it differently, this can lead to uncoordinated or even counterproductive efforts across the team. All of the ASCA psychosocial risk factors work in different ways to prevent individuals and teams from effectively solving business problems and achieving their goals. If there is too much ASCA for too long, then people start to suffer from stress and distress. They burn out, and eventually they leave the business. These ASCA psychosocial risk factors exist in life and in business with or without leaders. A business that is doing very well and has very little volatility, uncertainty, or complexity is likely to be low in ASCA, while a business that is underperforming and under pressure with a highly complex, volatile, and uncertain future will probably have a high prevailing level of ASCA. One of the primary functions of a leader is to enhance their team's psychosocial safety. This doesn't necessarily mean being really nice and keeping everybody happy. What it does mean is removing distractions, keeping the team energized, encouraging healthy debate to foster new ideas, and providing clear direction on what to do and why it needs to be done. When a leader's personality suits the situation they lead in, they decrease the impact of ASCA on their team. However, if the leader's personality is too hot or too cold or poorly contained, then toxic behaviors are likely to amplify psychosocial risk factors, which impair the team's function and the performance of the business. And if the leader's personality is diluted and ineffective for the context they lead in, then they will neither increase nor decrease ASCA, leaving the team to cope with the operating environment that naturally exists. Most people struggle with managing their own psychological risk factors, let alone choose to do it for other people. This is why it takes a certain type of person to be a leader and carry this heavy psychological burden. If a leader's fundamental job is to improve business outcomes, then they must stop the toxic cycle created by the ASCA psychosocial risk factors. Leadership isn't necessarily about being smart, being right, or making people happy. Truly effective leaders not only deal with their own anxiety, ambiguity, stimulation, and conformity, but they manage it effectively for other people. The GreyScale scientifically assesses where a leader's personality is likely to increase, decrease, or have no impact on psychosocial risk factors in a variety of situations. This gives leaders insight into their innate personality and how it helps others, which helps them increase their effectiveness, avoid toxic behaviors, and improve the performance of their team and the business.